кинотеатре «Художественный» прошел второй фестиваль ирландского кино. В программу фестиваля вошли такие известные картины, как «Моя левая нога», «Жестокая игра», «Завтрак на Плутоне». Среди прочих была показана лента «Голод», обладатель награды «Особая камера» в Каннах. После сеанса сценарист картины Энду Волш вышел на сцену пообщаться со зрителями.
The reaction, well, it's hard. I think the reaction is the same everywhere. I think the film does, it does, it draws you in, and then it sort of just, it seems to sort of take the sort of oxygen out of you and then just drills you. It's hard. It's like it's tough. It's quite sort of relentless, and the pace of the film is very sort of strange. It gets under your skin. You can drift in and out of it, but it always keeps on going. And you know the political reaction was so muted. No one had a sort of, no one was upset about it, and that's how sort of, you know, far things have moved on. I think, you know, no one was, you know, like going, oh, the Bobby Sands sort of, you know, movie, this is a disgrace, and why should they be giving public money to this, you know, film about a terrorist? There was nothing about that. They actually just saw it in real sort of human terms. And, you know, whatever you think about the man's belief and what he sort of did to himself, it's undeniably sort of a strong action. It's such a full-on action to do. But it's to them, it's like, and to everyone, like, well, it feels like a period piece. It feels like a long time ago, and I think that's sort of, that to me is a strength, and it's the reason why it could sort of exist now, is because, you know, the majority of sort of people in Northern Ireland have moved on to sort of like a, you know, another place, and you know, like, and you know, are no longer sort of in that sort of, you know, in that situation, you know. So I mean. So yeah, I mean, like, you know, everyone knew, you know, that it was handled so badly. That sort of those few years in and around, you know, the hunger strikes and Thatcher's sort of reaction to them, and the whole sort of media circus that sort of happened on the back of it. It was all just a fucking mess, you know. You know? I mean, so they look at it in those terms. I mean, I think, you know, there was nothing, no upset about it. No, I think it would, you know, I mean, maybe some already very, very damaged child who has a sort of fixation about sort of wanting to do sort of violence would sort of, would go, oh my God, but you know, but then maybe they would see, you know, some other fucking violent film or whatever, some other thing, and have a cause because I think, you know, that just would not happen. I mean, there's no way we're going to make this film and we're going to ignite, you know, the feelings, you know, like of, you know, any latent sort of feelings and hatred that people would have, you know, for Britain and sort of Britishness. There's no way a film was going to sort of, you know, throw Northern Ireland back into sort of fucking chaos or anything like that. That just doesn't happen. Or it doesn't happen that, you know, like a group of kids get together and go, yeah, see this fucking film. Wow, let's fucking do, you know, Bobby Sands is right, let's fucking, you know, I mean, it doesn't happen, thank Christ, you know. So absolutely no influence. The real IRA have, you know, on the mass of Northern Ireland have got very, very, very little influence, and that's why the reaction that, you know, 1999 0.99% of Northern Ireland people would go, this is fucking ridiculous. This is a small amount of people who are trying to sort of, unite the Ireland sort of, through sort of violence. But you know what? They tried that for fucking hundreds of years and it just didn't happen. And now things are beginning to sort of work again and will. But also in this film, I look at it and I think, I don't believe this story about the soul. I think you just made that up. I think you made that up to control this sort of, to come out of an argument that you couldn't win and to come out on top of it on the basis that you're a good storyteller. Now, I really don't believe. I think he manipulated that conversation, and I think but he, a lot of his life, you feel at the end, was lived in a sort of fog, and yet, you have to give him the sort of. You have to go, well, in his heart he had a very sort of, he did have a very sort of pure, as fucked as it sounds, a very sort of belief, pure belief that I believe in a united Ireland. Now to me that is just like, what? But you have to give the man the grace and the sort of dignity to go, right, he does believe that. And nothing will actually sort of get in the way of that. But along the way, these, I do think he, like any fucking leader will manipulate events.
Yeah.
Well, it did incredibly well. I mean,
Yeah.
And it's still doing really well. It's doing brilliantly in America. It's just
Мне очень понравился фильм, потому что он очень сильно идейно. Художественно мне сложно сказать, потому что я про это плохо понимаю. Но я до сих пор не могу прийти в себя, не знаю, сказала об этом сценаристу, что не знаю, как дальше. Гениальный Майкл Фассбендер.